team win from us. I thought that offensively we had great balance again, and have a lot of people contributing, and that was good to see. I was proud of our kids for kind of overcoming and sustaining there in that second half stretch, and I didn't think that we necessarily defensively continued to take the step forward that we wanted to take. There were way too many possessions where we didn't get matched up in transition and they got open looks. We were fortunate they didn't shoot the ball particularly well tonight. I feel like we need to do a little bit better job of earning our defensive stops, but for the most part, I was proud of offensive production and the ability to kind of sustain.
So in a lot of ways, are you saying the recipe is a little different, where it was more offense tonight, having to necessarily outscore them?
That's never our game plan. That certainly was not the approach we were planning to take coming in here, but it didn't hurt us with the way things kind of turned out, that we were able to be able to kind of outscore them tonight. And it just was a really tough game for our kids to get into any kind of a sync. So it was going to be a little bit challenging. It was good to see we had 17 assists on the game, so that meant we were really sharing the basketball well and passing and moving well against their zone, and we were able to kind of get the win, even though the defense was not quite what we were expecting and hoping for.
Second game in a row where you guys really jumped out, big start to the second half, and allowed you to pull away in games that were fairly close. I mean, that's coming out of the locker room, that's got to feel pretty good to be able to put that kind of a run together right away.
It does feel good. I mean, we're constantly striving to put 40 solid minutes together, but we talk a lot about that first 5 minutes of the second half being a very critical time that you can set the tone for the rest of the ball game, and I think our kids have really bought into that.
Do you see that you're turning the corner, I guess, beating a Denver team that, scored a lot of points, beating this team that scored a lot of points? Even though you just said defense really wasn't a highlight tonight, do you feel like you're turning the corner a little bit?
I think so. I think our kids are starting to kind of figure out, and they're practicing with a sense of urgency. There's kind of an intensity there, and we do feel like there's still plenty of room for improvement over the next few weeks, but we think we're heading in the right direction.
0-4 start, now 4 out of the last 5. I mean, just from a confidence standpoint, I mean, it seems like it's different. The morale is raised. Everything is different than it was just a couple of weeks ago.
Right, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it is different, and I think sometimes we tend to underestimate what playing at home can do for your morale, and when you start the conference season with 3 straight road games, and we were kind of in the midst of a little bit of turmoil as far as just figuring out rotations and stuff, and I think some of that has settled down for us, but really being in the friendly confines of the dome for the last several weeks is, majority of those games has helped a lot.
Against a team like this, how important is it that you got E-Miller out there?
Nick, did you see those few minutes where she was on the bench with 4 fouls? Because
that was the impetus for the question.
Right. Clearly, she gives us a confidence to be able to kind of break the pressure in those types of situations. She's got some speed where it makes it difficult to stay in front of her, and she's explosive off the dribble. So she's a good passer. She's good off the dribble, and because of that, she is very, very valuable for our team in a game like this.
Has anybody in this league rebounded better from the point guard spot? I mean, she had 11. It felt like 15 boards tonight.
If they do, I don't know who it is. I mean, she's just got a tremendous knack for the basketball. She impacts the game in so many ways. Just obviously it's spectacular to see a point guard that can rebound it the way that she does. But I think one of the biggest improvements in her game that I've been so impressed with is she started to really value the basketball, and has from beginning of this season until right now, been able to really cut down on turnovers, and knock on wood when I say that. We're about to play a really good defensive team that pressures a lot on Saturday, so we'll have to try to see that trend continue for Taya, but she's been really improving in that area.
How much of that is mental? I mean, just taking the time to make sound decisions, because it seemed like, she plays with her hair on fire, and that's kind of just her style. But last year, it was getting in the way, and this year it seems like she's processing a little bit more before she makes that.
I think it's process. I think it's confidence. That the more and more minutes that she gets out there on the court, the more and more confident that she becomes, that she can play without, having to make something spectacular. She can just make the simple play sometimes, and she's just learning, and that experience is really helping with that confidence.
Any other questions?
All right.
Thanks, Amy.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Happy
Amy.
birthday again.